Halo, Papa.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Today we are going to be doing round 2 of my game of jars. So I'm already switching things up because if you watched my game of jars video introducing what I was going to be doing this year, and also if you watched last month's, I will leave it linked down below in a playlist. Basically I had 3 jars. One's an actual jar full of Kindle books and the other is just a cup. I need to get another jar similar to this, just for aesthetics obviously. And this has my Kindle books in. This has my 12 prompts 24 books challenge. Again, I will link it up above and down below. That was part of my Vlogmas videos. And each month I was going to pick a book from my Kindle list, sheet of paper from my 12 prompts 12 books, and then I was also going to pick a self-destruct book from my self-destruct jar. I'm not doing that anymore because after looking at those books on my TBR cart, I realised that 90% of those books were thrillers or like a very old contemporary or two that I have zero interest in reading. So I was just, we were all talking about on, I'm sure it was on someone's live and in the group chat that I'm in, about DNFing books. And I always say like DNFing and self-care. Friend Becky, not Becca from Becca Fowler, Becky from Bookish Becky, who is also known as lovely friend Rebecca. She was about like, she doesn't like DNFing. I'm sure it was her that said this. She doesn't like DNFing, she'll just power through. I don't like doing that. I used to do that, but I don't anymore. But I didn't see the point in having a stack of books, there's about 20 books or something daft, that I had no interest in reading whatsoever, that every single book I would have to push myself through. So I just scrapped it. I found someone who wanted the job lot, sold it, all done, dusted, and we are down to 2 jars. So, what I'm going to do is, this month, I'm just going to pick 1 Kindle book as normal and 1 slip from my 12 books 12 prompts jar, because I have 2 readathons I'm taking part in this month, as well as read-alongs, and just don't want to overwhelm myself, so I'm just going to pick 1 of each. On months that I don't take part in any readathons, I will pick 2 from my Kindle jar and 1, as always, from here. So, that is the very small change to my TBR situation. And, yeah, so, I'm just going to give these a bit of a shake. I'm currently on, we're on the 24th of January, and I've got 3 more books to read off my TBR. I might start introducing punishments if I don't finish my TBR, but I'm just going to see how this game goes for now, and then I might see how punishments work going forward, because I think punishments can sometimes be a fun thing to do. So, I'm going to move Reese's wingspan out the way, and then we're going to dive into this. We're going to pick this one, I'm going to pick this one up. Just so you don't think I've swapped it. I didn't. We're gonna pick that one. A Threat of Shadows by J.A. Andrews is what it says. If it focuses. There we go. My handwriting at this point was abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. So my Kindle book is A Threat of Shadows. If I find the cover, I will put it here. And then my 12 books, 12 prompts. We're going to go for this one. We're going to go for this one. And it is Liam. Is it Liam? It's Liam. So, the book I'm going to be reading next month is Solitaire. And the prompt is going to be early morning vibes. So, him and Ashley have given me prompts that I really need to think about. So, If by the time I edit this video I have thought of a book for that prompt, I will just put the graphic up here. But for now, I'm stuck as to what I can use for that. I'm thinking cozy mystery, because I always feel very cozy in the morning when I wake up. So maybe I'll try cozy mystery. We'll see. I did download some Jana Deli on cozy mysteries, so I might choose one of them. But I'll let you know. I will leave it linked here. Most of you, if not all of you, will already know that there are 2 readathons going on in the month of February. The first one is Polarthon, and that runs from the 7th to the 13th of February, and that is run by the lovely Jade from Jade Reads. This year it's Explorers versus... what's it again? Explorers versus someone that isn't the Explorers. I can't remember. Because I'm on Team Explorers. I can't remember what the other team is now. But it's irrelevant because we're going to win anyway. So the Explorers are Team Gavin, and the task for this year is to get up the mountain. So there are 5 prompts, the last one being Polar Fantasy. You can choose one of the 2 roads. Gav is the Adventurers team leader and Pris is the other team leader. I think it's to do with animals up there. You could choose a 3rd route, which is to not do any of the teams and just pick a route that goes straight up the mountain, but you have to read 5 Polar Fantasies if you choose to just go straight up to the top of the mountain without following the route of the Explorers and the animals and the prompts that they come with. So I will leave the video linked below for Jade. Clearly she will have explained it way better than I just have, because I'm an imbecile. So there's that readathon. There's also Raw Readathon run by 2 of my best friends, Becca and Liv. Both channels, again, links down below as well. And this round is animals. And these are generally the animals that can't talk in Disney films. So if I can find the little graphics, I'll put the little graphic up of the animal here, just in case you don't know which animal we're referring to for the prompts. And I'm going to go through my TBR that as it stands at the moment, but we shall see what we shall see when we see it. I'm also taking part in 2 read-alongs, which is the VA along run by Liv and the By the Angel along, which is run by Becca. I also do the monthly book club with Middle Grade Monthly. I may partake in other Patreon book clubs as well, but we'll see. The ongoing readathon for Spoops and Rose Patreon are things that I'm sort of tentatively taking part in. I'm not focusing books specifically on those prompts, and I'm not going to tell you the prompts for Spoops Patreon readathon, because it's a year-long readathon just for us. So if you want to partake in said pirate readathon, then go and join Spoops' Patreon. It's a fun old time on both of their Discords. Honestly, great. Met some lovely people. Anyway, I don't need to make this video longer than it's going to be, because we all know I like to ramble, but yes, I'd also recommend subscribing to both their patrons as well. Anyway, so Polarthon, Adventurers, Explorers is what I am on. First up, the first prompt we have is an adventure, and I'm going to choose Ice Whisperers. This is all about kids going on an adventure, and it's also a middle grade monthly pick. So can I say no to that? It's 2 birds, 1 stone. And I'm hoping it's going to be a quick read because it is middle grade. I don't have it yet, hence the graphic. Next one we have is Cold Word, and I chose Frostbite. This is the second book in the Vampire Academy series, and this is going to be also tied in with the read-along. So again, 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm doing very well with this. I would have liked to have doubled up on this prompt to include Icy Magic and choose the book that I'm choosing for Icy Magic, but I can't, so I'm just going to have to choose this book for that. Next up we have Foiled Cover, and this is House at the End of Magic. I pre-ordered the second book in this series before I even read this, And it's only small, it's cute, it's middle grade, it's going to be full of magic, so I picked this one. And then we move on to Icy Magic, and this is what I wanted to use for Cold Word as well, but I can't because the only way you can double up is if the prompts are directly above each other or below each other. So this is Frostblood, and this follows a girl who is a fireborn. She lives in a world where there's ice magic, frost magic, and she has fire magic, I think. It says she will burn anyway. So her being alive is practically a crime. So. And then finally, Polar Fantasy is Missing of Claire de Lune. I read the first one. I've lost it now. What was the first one called? It's gone out of my head. Winter's Promise, that's it. Winter Promise. I'm using this as Polar Fantasy because the premise of these books is that the world was split into arcs many years ago, and each arc finds their own way of living, and Ophelia lives on one of these arcs, and her family have decided that because she won't choose someone to marry in her own sort of traditional family and on her own arc, that they're going to marry her off to a lovely gentleman called Thorn, who lives in a very cold arc within this world. So I'm using this as Polar Fantasy because it basically lives in a really snowy arc. And that's Polarthon done. So can I read all those books in 1 week? There's a couple that are relatively small. My biggest hurdle is going to be Missing of Claire de Lune, I think, because that is quite a chunky one. But we're going to then move on to Raw Readathon, and I'm going to come back in a second because my battery is dying. I'm back, and you're wonky. So we're now going to move on to Raw Readathon and the prompts for Raw Readathon. So I'm really excited about this. This runs from the 1st till the 28th of February. Month-long readathon. All details linked below. First up, we have Khan. I'll leave the little graphic here if I can find one. And I picked Wrath. This is the last book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. And yes, it's a chunky book, but it is what it is. It's the last book in the series, and after what happened in book 3, I mean, I'm just shooketh that I didn't just dump my whole January TBR just to dive right into this. So I'm not liking the fact that I'm not liking the fact that there's literally no flop, and I don't like the fact that I've only noticed this, that there's 2 different publishers on the books, which is going to grate on me because they don't exactly match, but never mind. This follows, oh god, what can I say without spoilers? This follows a young boy called Corbin, and somehow gets tangled up in a prophecy of light versus dark, bright star versus the dark sun, and it's all very political. They live in the Banished Lands where they're at the brink of war, and there are giants, there are people that wield magic, there are warriors and wolven, which is like massive wolves. There's many a thing, and they're trying to stop the evil from taking over the Banished Lands. This is the final book in that quartet, and I'm dying to get to it. I'm so excited, but it took me a while to get through Ruin. Not for any particular reason, not because I didn't enjoy it. It's because I stupidly decided to read like a bunch of fantasies all at once, because I'm an idiot, and then Ruin just got put to one side. So that's not going to happen this time, because that's one of the only, that's the only chunky political fantasy that I've got for this month. So yes. Next prompt is Thomas O'Malley, and Becca was going to be so happy about this. I'm reading If This Gets Out by Sophie Gonzalez and Cale Dietrich, or Dietrich, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but I'm buddy reading this with Lindsay as well. Me and Lindsay Jardine have buddy read books every month since we started trying to read House of Leaves. Although the past couple of months I have read ahead of the buddy read, I'm sorry Lindsay. I will stick to this one this time. We usually read about 50 pages a day, and this is basically, I'm not going to say what fanfic it's supposed to be or what it's supposed to depict, but it's boys in a boy band that maybe potentially might possibly fall in love. We don't know. Is that similar to potential rumours about potential boy band that was around not so long back? Maybe. But I'm not going to say anything because said fans might come and shoot me in the head because, you know, they're strange. Next up we have Lucifer, which is a big bad, and I have chose a graphic novel for this because I need some light relief from the books that I'm going to be reading. This definitely has a big bad, and you can see from and this was gifted to me by Black Crow PR, and I really appreciate it. They sent me volumes 1 and 2 of this series. Next up we have Pluto, and okay, so I'm not going to get it out because I forgot to get it out before I started filming this video, and if I try and get it down now I'm probably going to knock everything over. So the next one I'm going to pick is Crownbreaker. I'll put a graphic up here. This is going to finish the Bellslinger series for me, and I feel like a piece of me is going to just die because I don't want to finish the series, which is why I keep putting Crownbreaker off. But I know Rikus isn't a pet, but he's a companion, he's a business partner. You could see him as a pet. So I'm going to be using that. I'm stretching that prompt to include Kel's business partner, Rikus, because I can. The next one is Raja, and it's a book that's not set in your country. 99% of my books are from authors that are not from England. And so I could pick any book, literally any book that I've put on here already, but I'm picking the book that I'm reading for By the Angel Along, which is City of Ashes, the second book in the Shadowhunter series, and I haven't read book 1 yet. I'm reading book 1 this month, this week in fact, for my last weekly vlog of January. So I will be continuing on with the read along, and I will be reading this. Next is Max, and it's the prompt is By the Sea, and this is Eva Evergreen's Semi-Magical Witch. I know that this is going to fit the prompt because it was on Becca Rex. It was on a recommendation video for this exact prompt on this exact readathon. So am I going to take the word of the person who's running the readathon as to what book I can use? Yes. So this is going for that reason. So yes, and this was gifted to me by Lotte. So thank you, Lotte. You've saved my bacon. I don't have to buy an extra book. So the next one is Nana, and again I'm going to put the graphic up here. Crescent City 2. I will be reading this as soon as it comes out. So I thought I'd already preemptively make a space on my TBR that this can fill. So here it is. There are familial relationships in this. There's found family, but there's also a brother and sister relationship in this as well. So there we go. And last but not least, we have Little Thieves. This is a book that includes royalty, and I think she impersonates someone who's royal. I think. So there's that. So there are all the books that I want to get to this month. There are 15 of these books. I know it's not short by much, but February is a shorter month, so we'll just see how things go. But I'm excited for both readathons, and if it gets closer to the time and I'm thinking I could try and double up on some prompts, I will try and double up if possible. But all of these books I'm excited to read. All of these books have piqued my interest of late. They do also fit into, 3 of the books also fit into a read-along, actually 4. 4 of the books fit into read-alongs I'm doing, buddy reads I'm doing, and or a book club that I'm part of. So, you know, I could have picked 4 extra books for that, but I didn't. I really am looking forward to getting through the rest of my January TBR so I can read my February TBR. And I'm just so excited to see what February brings. If it gives me even half of the 5 stars, and 4 stars that I've had this month, I will be happy. Based on what I've seen of these books, I'm fingers crossed hoping that at least some of these are going to be 5 stars for me. I'm going to put it out there right now, I very highly doubt that any De Castell book is ever going to get less than 5s from me. So I'm guessing Crownbreaker is just going to be a 5 straight off the bat. But we'll see. It might not be. Oh God. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any hints, tips on what kind of jars I can do, what I could put in them, if you've got any good punishments, then please link them down below. I might put a poll on Twitter, or I'll put a post up on Twitter and ask you to pick out some punishments for me. In fact, yes, I'm going to do that. If you've seen this video, my socials are all linked below. I will tweet when this goes out. I will tweet a request for you to give me your punishments, and then I will do a separate jar for punishments. So if I don't finish the TBR that I set myself, the full TBR that I set myself, not just to give them jars TBR, because that is only like 3 books max. So if I don't finish my whole TBR that's in a TBR video, I will have to do one of the punishments that get picked from the punishment jar. So we're going to do that. So when you see this video, head over to my Twitter afterwards and check out the post that will be up, and let me know what your thing's going to be for me. Yeah. Lisa from the future here, editing Lisa. I also need to add onto this February TBR Silkfire, because that was approved as an art. It's getting read in February, because after the things I've heard, that's going to be the first book, along with If This Gets Out, that I'm going to be doing Lindsay. And then secondly, I forgot to add Bone Chips, which is part of Cassie, from Covers with Cassidy. I'll leave a link down below. She's doing a book club. She's starting in February. The first book is The Bone Chips by R.J. Barker, and we're reading the series together and then moving on to whatever else she decides to read. So I now have 17-ish books on my TBR. Go me for reducing my TBR. This is Lisa Woods 2022 not sticking to her goals on month 2. You're welcome. I'm a failure in life, but I don't care. Thank you for watching. Peace.